Okay, welcome back to Rasputin Gaming's Platinum Trophy playthrough of Divinity Original Sin 2. I'm Raz, your host. Where we left off last time was that we were going to go back into the hold to rescue the rest of the NPCs. So let's get on with that. Here's the ladder to go back down.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait! Void woken!
And we'll get ourselves back to this door where we can control the situation a little better.
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch. They who are about to triumph.
Let the games begin.
I'll yield to none!
I've faced worse.
So as the turn gets all the way back around to us, you can see that all the Void Woken are dead except for the one in front of us. First thing we will do is cast the shields up, put our armor back up. And the Void Woken dies to the fire.
Away! The sea's hung.
And everybody escapes. While we're doing that, we will check these for any giblets, which they don't have, and move on out.
Wait! We need to wait! There's no time.
So we got our 800 experience points. And we'll go through this cutscene as we escape the Merryweather.
I have plans for you, child. Rise
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
And so there we are. Escaped from the Merryweather. And now we're going to be on the island, heading for Fort Joy. See if we can pick up some companions here and grab a trophy or two. So for this playthrough, it's my intention to go through with a 4-man party so you can see how that works. When we do honor mode, it'll be a 2-person party so we can take advantage of the lone wolf skills. As we're the 4 party members we will look for will be Beast, Sabile. To help us out, we're not going to take the Red Prince and we're not going to take Fane, and then our 4th one will be Ibn.
Then comes Voidwoken. Am I the lone survivor?
So now we have all our journal updates and everything, so let's go ahead and take a look at the journal. So now we have new quest, Escape from Fort Joy, which is where we are, and we're still fighting Losey's personal quest, which is to get some help. You can see it there at the top, an island of sorcerers. Maybe one of them can help me with my crowded brain, so we'll work on that. So let's go to Chronicles. It's flashing green, tells us we have a new one. So for Chapter 1, the Merryweather sank and all aboard seemingly lost. And now we're into Chapter 2, where tells us we landed on the shore near Fort Joy. And these are the archived ones. We did get armed, and we did rescue the prisoners and get away from the ship. So one other thing I wanted to show you in the character section, you can see our levels. Currently level 1, we have 1800 experience points. That's kind of where you want to be when you hit the land here. We're going to try and pick up our companions while still at level 1 so we can create the builds the way we would like. That's going to be true up until we get to Ibn. When we pick him up, the experience, there's an event there that'll give us experience that'll put us over into level 2. But we should have all the companions found by the time we do that. So let's get started on the island. Want to run up here to the left to discover this waypoint. Check this face, see if there's anything in it. Nope.
Brachus Rex. Who's that again?
There's a bunch of shells. We're not going to be picking them up as we go along. We'll pick up the other stuff that we happen to find. You can see we're moving slow because we're carrying a lot of weight again. But that's going to be fine. We're going to be picking up some companions and we can share the load with them real soon. Part of what we want to do is stay more to the left here. Because there's a couple of Voidwoken to the right. You can see them on the mini-map. The 2 red dots, we want to avoid that combat because we don't want to level up yet. So we have a book. Let's see if it allows us to learn some new recipes. And we learn 2. Nice. And now you can see the new yellow dot on the minimap. That's where the red prince is at. So we'll go over there and meet him. And we will have him join temporarily, mostly so that we can move a little quicker and we can not worry about all the weight we're carrying. But also so you can get a sense of what his backstory is as well.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep.
So we will greet him heartily.
The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, 2 smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold.
Yeah, well, your thank you.
You have my gratitude.
You're welcome.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
So let's get a little
My gratitude is worth
snarky
a great
with him.
deal, if only you'd realize it. But of course you don't, so we'll leave it at that. Now then, if there's nothing further...
Let's find out what he's doing here standing on this rock.
I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean?
So we will go with our Losa response.
A consciousness. Very good. And the water it may drown in. Life and death. Why not?
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities, and shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost.
So let's ask him about being lost.
What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am?
So let's go with the jester question.
Well, more's the damn pity, isn't it? For I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun.
Yeah, spouse of the sun. That's probably not a whole lot of fun getting your ass burned.
Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have.
Well, let's invite him along because we need him to carry some of our load
Indeed.
for us.
And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship, after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good.
We're going to promise him because we're going to be sending him on his way in a little bit.
So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out, it goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you?
Yeah, so since we're not going to be keeping him permanently in the party, it doesn't really matter a whole lot what you pick here. We're just going to go with fighter because that's right at the top.
Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, My Lord.
Yeah, I doubt we're going to be using any of those three while he's traveling with us.
As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings.
Not that we would anyways.
Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So...
So you can see at the bottom there, the Red Prince got the 1800 experience points where we're already at. So now we have our inventory and his inventory. And let's give him some of these items. And let's grab some of his items. Okay, so that should be a good start for us. And we'll continue along the coast right here.
Hey, kitty, kitty. Never want to step foot on a stuffy old road ever again. Never.
Okay. And we need to stick to the right. The stairs here on the left we do not want to go up.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day. Where are you?
time to accept reality.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right?
So Gawain is somebody we will talk to, or Gawain, in a little bit down the road. We don't want to start this quest yet, so we're going to take our leave. Okay, we're going to do a quick save right here, so that we don't actually accidentally trigger a fight coming up. Okay, Beast is one of the guys we want to have on our team, so we will talk to him.
The dwarf's fingers clamp around a splintered chunk of wood nailed to the skeleton of an old ship. His whole body strains with the effort of wrenching the plank free, to no avail.
Got two of my own, haven't I?
The dwarf spits into each of his calloused palms and rubs them together before placing them both back on the plank and pulling.
Bloody nail must be charmed or something.
We will offer again.
Go on then, give it a go.
You grab the plank and pull. The rusted nail pops loose, and the plank promptly crumbles to pieces in your hand.
Oh, look at that. Nice of you to finish the job after I loosened her up.
You get a good look at the hearty fellow, broad as a hull and sunburned from all sides. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He winks and flips a gold coin toward you. It makes a long, high arc, glinting in the sun, and lands squarely in your hand.
For your trouble. I suppose it were a fool's errand thinking I could make something out of this heap, but I couldn't help myself from trying.
He sucks a finger and holds it up to the wind, testing the breeze.
Winds like these, she would have capsized before she reached the break. Well, on to plan B.
So let's ask him about plan
He gives
B.
you a wry look, as though deciding whether to trust you.
Aye, was planning to build me a raft and paddle off. I've got business north of here, in a town called Driftwood. Far be it from me to miss an appointment.
Let's break the bad news to him.
Maybe you don't.
He stands before you and pokes you in the side, seizes your shoulder with a great, strong hand.
There's something of you, you know? You don't have to accept your fate on this bloody island. You can leave here, get on with your life. Why don't we make a deal then? You help me get out of this place, and I'll do the same for you.
Alrighty.
That's the spirit.
We'll party up with him.
He lifts an invisible cap and bows with the grace of a courtier.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's... well, the name's dead and buried. What matters is what they call me. Beast.
So let's go with our human response.
May have been cast out, but you can bet your last heel of breed she wishes she hadn't have. I've taken my revenge 1,000-fold on that tyrant's fleet.
Let's ask him about his name.
I'll tell you when you're older. Anyhow, we're a team now, so the me is not half as important as the us.
That's good to know.
Let's get down to brass tacks. Fighting, I mean. I've been up and down the realm so often it'd make your cabbage spin, and I picked up a few tricks along the way. Truth be told, I've grown fond of crushing and casting. A battle mage, if you like. But there's not so important as team dynamics. So what'll it be?
Well, since the plan here is to run a 4-mage group, definitely Battle Mage is what we're after.
Then it's settled. Capital. Well, that's that sorted. Onward then. I've got to get out of here, and soon. And I suppose you do too.
So we've learned a new recipe. And what we need to do now is get into the inventory and switch all the inventory around. So everything the Red Prince has, we're going to give to Beast. So that we can cut the Red Prince loose. And we need to go into the equipment. So let's check our journals first. So we now have one for Beast, experienced Dwarven Sea Captain, and one for the Red Prince. And this one's all over now with the Merryweather Chapter 1. We'll check the archives. There we go. Let's select the Red Prince and go to his equipment so that we can take what he has as well. There we go. Now we have everything off of him. Let's switch back to, which will be the left trigger, back to Lose, so that she can talk to the Red Prince.
Yes, by all means, let us partake in the art of conversation.
And tell him we're going on our separate ways.
Are you certain you want to dismiss your companion?
Yes, we are.
Yours.
And now we have our 2. At this point, let's go ahead and make a quick save and see about grabbing the other companions. So we want to keep going south down here, heading towards the beach. Where at this point we're looking for Sabile. We should find her up here. There she is. So let's talk to her.
Amid the squalor of Fort George, she was among the sorcerers with whom you fought the Voidwoken down in the hold of the sinking ship. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance away, and you get the distinct feeling he's an unfortunate man indeed to be trapped in her tiger-like gaze.
So, let's try and be humorous with her, and because we want Sabile with us is part of the reason we didn't breed the Red Prince. They tend not to get along.
No sooner have these words left your mouth than she turns about and grabs you in a stranglehold. You feel the tip of a long needle being pushed a little ways into your neck.
What? Why so aggressive?
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Who are you?
Let's use the Losa response.
There is no fame here and no melodies either. Only the accursed.
A push, a pivot, and now you suddenly face her. The needle still all too deeply embedded in the side of your throat. Despite the precariousness of your situation, you notice a flaw in her diamond features. A curiously shaped scar on her left cheek.
Well, let's ask her about the scar.
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a bad old time, A lizard cut this thing, this living scar, into my cheek. The mark of a slave. But now I'm free, of sorts. And I've traced that lizard here, to Fort Joy. I intend to raise the subject with him.
Well, she's angry with the lizard, and we are not the lizard, so that's what we will tell her.
She drives the needle in deeper and whispers.
In truth, it does not matter in the least who you really are. You saw me mark my prey. You could warn him, save him, or kill him before I get my chance. That makes you a liability. That makes you needle feed.
So let's see if she'll join us
A bright
instead.
sparkle of laughter follows your proposal.
Ha! How amusing. I admit I had not seen that twist coming. I was certain the pitiful begging was about to begin. Make your case and do it quickly. Why should I join you?
Well, tell her we're looking to get off the island like everybody else.
Escape? How you do tickle me. Most of the misguided deers around here would argue such a thing is impossible.
Snarky again.
A silly thing to say, but then again, I did think catching me off guard was impossible. Oh, little needle mine, what should I do? Push or pull? The agony of choice. You know what? Today is a rather fine day. Sunshine and an easy breeze. Yes, I'll let you live. I'll even agree to travel with you, provided we talk to that lizard I mentioned. I'm not quite sure the weather will save him.
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your neck and smiles, as if she just invited you to sit down for tea.
Let's discuss our respective roles then, shall we? You, me, and Death will be playing many a round of hide and seek. So, what role would you like me to play? As a rogue, my speciality is stealth, the quick silence of the dagger striking unseen. That said, I'm perfectly lethal wielding any weapon or magic. So, the choice is yours.
So, as I said, we're running a 4-mage group here, so we will go down to the arcane
But
arts.
of course, I can play the strings of magic like a harpist her instrument. Is there any specific tune that takes your preference?
And we need a summoner as part of our group, so that's what we're going to ask her to become.
Suits me fine. Lead on. Or better yet, let me take the lead. Then follow me.
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side, for the moment.
So let's go into the inventory again, because there's some things we need to give her because she's an elf and she has a power that we will show right quick here. Send this to Sabine. Do a quick resort of our items. I think that's the only one. We haven't got the other piece yet, but okay, so let's go over to the actions. And this is the chunk of flesh we got off the Merryweather from Finn, who was the murder victim. Let's check out the journals. Now we have Sibyl added. Stingtail is the lizard she wishes to question. Okay, and the other reason we want to get Ibn before I go forward here is because he comes with the Pet Pal ability, which we need for Trophy. So we will grab him next.
So this is Fort Joy.
Surely you have one. What a crumbling disaster.
And we discovered a waypoint. That's this statue right here. Shrine to the Divine.
The shrine depicts Lucian the Divine, avatar of the 7 gods. It does not react.
Snarky is us.
Fine by the looks of it.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
I find I need bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket. Toast.
So here is
This
Ibn.
is not
Let's.
your business, long pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheapskate like this one. Griff already knows she don't like to pay her fair share.
So it looks like a
An
shakedown's
intense
going
looking
down
man
here.
Steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
And we'll get involved in this and get Ibn on our
Lone
side.
wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
So let's stand beside the elf and tell the thug to back off.
The intense-looking man stands beside you against the thugs, shooting you an appraising glance. Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow anyhow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us.
So now you can see on the left side our portraits all have the arrow ups. That means we all leveled up. When we grab Ifan, he will also be level 2 along with us. Elodie, we know where she's going, so we don't need to follow her at this time, but we will go see her shortly.
There is a safe place.
The man rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it, hard.
Good to meet you, lady. Say, you don't look all that busy. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours.
Looks like we're going to be
I've just
having
got a
him join
small
us here.
errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place?
So let's ask him about the lone wolves.
He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job.
And he said he had an errand, so let's ask him about that, so we'll know what we're getting into with him by having him join us.
Everyone needs to make a living. I make mine running errands. That's the truth. For me, for you, for everyone in this place. Why not help each other get out of here? The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1, and when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right?
So now it looks like we have him joined on our side, so we'll go ahead and nod
He
so that
grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
we can bring him on.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Should keep more of our blood in. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need?
So again, we're running the 4-mage party, so let's go down to the
What good's
Arcane
an
Knight
outlaw who
arts.
can't
That's what we
command
need
the shadows?
him to
I'm
do,
dabbled enough to
and
know I have an
we'll
affinity for the darker arts, but I'm a quick learner.
make him
What's your preference?
elemental powerhouse, so we're going to make him a wizard as well. At least for start.
Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are. Lead the way.
Alright, now we have our party set up. You can see on the left there that he got the 2,700 experience points that we also have, so everybody is level 2 now. On the portraits, you'll see that he doesn't have the arrow. The game pre-assigned him his skills, which was unfortunate, but that's what we'll have to deal with. And we will do the leveling up and other actions here momentarily. But now that we have our group, real quickly so that we don't miss some trophies. We will let's okay, so we will call this it for today. I'll get up another one later on today, showing the leveling and running some quests real quick before we start delving deeply into Fort Joy. Remember again to hit the follow and subscribe buttons. We appreciate your patronage and hope you are getting some good information out of all of this. Thank you again. This is Raz for Rasputin Gaming.